R.I. presents
Sea people, mountain people, erosion. Continued last time. Ryoji left the inn where he stayed and headed for the Kushiro Marshlands. On the way to the observatory, he found a sign for the Hokuto ruins. Intrigued, Ryoji drove the car to the Hokuto ruins. A little further along, the paved road turned into a gravel road, and as we went further, the road was divided into two. He hesitated for a moment as to which way to go. Stopped the car just before the fork in the road, and then intuitively selected the left road and drove again. As he drove, the road was wide enough at first but gradually narrowed to allow only one car to pass. At this point, he finally realized that he had made the wrong choice. But there was no space around to make a U-turn, so he decided to go ahead and see how it went. After about 5 minutes of following the road suddenly disappeared and a slightly open meadow appeared. The moment he parked his car in front of the meadow and looked out over the meadow, he opened his eyes, his face was blue, and he felt something running on his back. Yes, the scene that he had appeared in his dreams many times before appeared before him, and the memories of the dream that had plagued him came back. He was stunned in the car for a while, but he stopped the engine and slowly opened the door and went outside. One step, he walked slowly to the meadow, looking for something and looking around. If it is a dream street, there should be a way out of the meadow. And he found it. It was like a beast road, but there was certainly something like a way. Notice. I want you to know. Third type tourist information. The Hokuto ruins that appeared in this text are located at the western end of Kushiro Marshland, and are less well known compared to its history, and it can be said that it is a secret place for sightseeing. There are people who settled in the Hokuto ruins for 15,000 years. And the facility introduces the history from the Jomon to the Ainu and the transition of the Kushiro marshland with images. Replicas of pit dwellings and excavated items are displayed with commentary in the facility, and in one corner of the ruins there is a reproduced pit dwelling. If you are interested, please take a sightseeing. Let's get back to the story. Ryoji makes the wrong way to the Hokuto ruins and goes on a different path. Beyond that, he found the same meadow he had seen in his dreams. And there he looks for a way out of the meadow, and finally finds a way. At that moment, he felt something run down his back again, but this time his feet were heading for the road without hesitation. There should be a river ahead, he muttered small and walked slowly down the road. The road continued into the forest, and when it entered the forest, the road gradually narrowed, and as it went further, it was like a beast road. And the surrounding area became thick with bamboo grass, and its height became taller as it advanced. There was what appeared to be a path at his feet, but it was quite difficult to navigate through the bushes. And his hands were cut by bamboo leaves, which was painful, but he still walked in it with enthusiasm, wanting to see what was going on. As he walked through the densely packed bamboo grass for a while, the moment the view in front of him opened, suddenly the ground was lost and he slipped down the cliff. Dangerous. He thought so, but the next moment he slipped a few meters and the fall stopped. He was holding his breath involuntarily, but when he confirmed that he had stopped moving, he bowed his head and took a breath. "I'm saved," he muttered as if exhaling and looked up. Then he noticed that there was a small river in front of him. This river, convinced that it was a river that came out in a dream in an instant, he stood up quickly and walked unconsciously again and headed upstream. There should be an answer ahead. With that in mind, as he walked along the unstable riverbank, he saw a narrow riverbank in front of him. Its narrowness forced him to choose between entering the river or climbing over the banks and bypassing. After a moment of glance at the water of the river, he hated getting wet in the water and headed for the slope of the banks. And while sliding his legs, he managed to get to the top. He was walking along the river on the banks so as not to lose sight of the river. But his attention at his feet was sparse, so when he walked a little, the ground at his feet suddenly collapsed and fell down. The moment his body fell, he reflexively tried to cling to the ground but could not grasp the ground, falling to the bottom ground. When he fell to the ground, he hit his hip hard and couldn't move for a little while from the pain in his back. When the pain subsided a little, he reached behind him, thinking that he would stand up with his hands on the wall, but there was no wall there, and he rolled backwards with the force of his outreach. When he looked around lying down, he saw that his place was in a recessed terrain, and above he saw traces of the soil collapsing where he had fallen. Apparently, it fell into a hole in something. It was dangerous now. After he muttered so, he closed his eyes for a while, lying down. He remained in the position for a while, but when he remembered something, He opened his eyes and woke up his upper body and looked back. Dark. What came into his eyes was not a plant or a wall of soil, but darkness. Really? He stared at the darkness stunnedly as images of dreams and reality mixed in his head. After staring at the darkness for a while, he noticed that there was something in the darkness, as the confusion in his head calmed down and his eyes got used to it. Standing up gently, he slowly moved forward step by step, with his hands in front of him. When his hand touched it, he checked the feel. The feeling was like a wooden wall. It's a wall, he muttered, touching the wall even more, looking for something. There should be a door, and there must be light in it. Today's story ends. Videos are updated every Saturday. Please subscribe to my channel.
See you again.